coming through with the strength in you. Hey, boo, hey, coming through with the strength in you. Hey, coming through with the strength in you. What it do, what it do? Coming through with the strength in you. And you say, coming through with the strength in you. You got it, boo, coming through with the strength in you. You made it. Good job. Come through. Strengthen you. Push through. Hey, strengthen you. Coming through. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday, y'all. Let me just say, my intro, I'm going to get it together, but it cracks me up every time looking at myself. Looking like a whole fool on that intro. I love it. Good morning. Good morning. How are you, my love? I am so glad that you are here. As you can see, I'm just excited right now for life because it's Monday. I made it. Made it through the weekend. Here we is, another week to try again, start all over. Beautiful things are underway. And that's just how it is. But before I even get in tune about what we're talking about today, I got to bring in my other hosts because they're so amazing and you're beautiful. So you got to get the beauty of them. So here come my girl, Courage.
Hey!
Good morning, girl. That was my crowd in the background going.
Oh, like that. Well, my crowd saying, "What it do? What it do? What it do?"
What it do, boo? How you doing, Miss Courage?
I'm blessed.
Ain't no better answer than that. I love that. And I love the smile on your face. Well, then, honey, before we go any further, we're going to bring in our king of the bunch, Young Wisdom, about to spread the knowledge.
Yo! How we doing?
Good morning. I love that. You came in with the energy, and then I was in the background like,
exactly. I was just gonna say, I can't wait to make a new intro for this show. Like, I was like, Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord.
First of all, I am just happy.
Coming through with the strength in you. I was like,
hey, boo. Hey,
you know,
back. Don't be acting like
What you gonna say, Gina?
You just every time he say, "I can't wait to do the intro," I know he gonna do something to my part that just make me just stand out.
I do good intros.
You do dope intros. But that was hilarious because you do dope intros and you're going to make this happen real soon. We're probably going to have a good switch up by next week. We should be in the works. We'll see what happens to life.
I'll have it done by next week for sure.
Don't be judging my intro because at least you get good energy from my, hey, boo.
Coming through with a strength to you. I feel like she's touching me, you know what I mean? Like,
coming through.
I'm trying to catch something.
That's so. Hey, don't do that. How are you this morning, though, Sir Wisdom?
I'm like good, man. I got up early. I did my thing, and no pain, no gain.
No gain, no pain.
Absolutely, Jerry.
Get it in, and I'm doing good. I'm in a good mood. I eat my salad, and when I finish here, I'm gonna eat some veggies. Trying to stick to this diet. Coming on 14 days here soon.
Hey.
Well, this morning, first of all, I'm too fast, Joy. Bring it back, Miss Trina. AKA Courage. How are you this morning, beautiful? What you got going on?
You know, my morning is good. It started off a little down, but you know, as your famous quote, Joy, it's only a moment. We can't stay in the moment. So absolutely. I'm out of it.
Yo, you're sounding like courage. I mean, like wisdom. I was like, your courage.
Well, you know what did it, right? I was looking at the time and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get ready to see Strength and Wisdom. And I got happy.
That's what's up. I got happy too this morning as soon as I knew I was having this show because although it's a Monday and it's coming in with the flux on a Monday, because people call you with weird calls in the morning like, hey, your guard card expired, so now you can't go to work. And I'm like, what? So, life be happening. But despite, I knew I was getting on this show and my excitement was through the roof because y'all my booze. And then I got my other booze watching. So it was like, what? Everything about my week about to elevate after this show. So,
yeah.
Boo.
Hey, Jocelyn. Good morning,
hey,
boo.
Jocelyn. What's up? What's up?
I like the way you sung that, though. Hey, Jocelyn.
I like more like singing to my voice, like, yeah. I tried.
That was a dope song, but not really.
I know it doesn't match the caliber of strength in you coming through.
I know. So I hope you're not gonna get rid of the song. Like I like the song.
No, we just gonna elevate it.
We got a way to incorporate the song into the new intro.
Okay.
That's my song. We gonna that song. Hey, that song going with us forever. Hey, boo. Y'all are hilarious this morning. That's what I'm talking. Well, listen, we got a special guest this morning, y'all. And before I bring him in, let me just tell y'all kind of the topic of the day, because hopefully he doing his job and watching this show right now. So you know what we're talking about. But we're going to elevate him, but we also going to talk about being worthy. Like, despite our money or our abilities, just being good enough. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about that. But let me bring in our other boo. He our brother from another mother. Bow.
He's already here. What's up?
What?
I'm screaming for you.
Oh, not that bottle trick, bro. Come on.
I didn't say your name, sir. I didn't want to put your name out there yet. I wanted you to say your name. I wanted you to shine your own light, and we put the spotlight on you like that. So that's why I didn't say your name. But somebody else already knows your name because they are watching. But anywho, sir, tell people about you. What's your name? Where are you from, baby?
Morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Roberts. Angry Mangry on Facebook. Jeff Angry Mangry Roberts. Although I'm not so angry, so I don't know why I still have that moniker. But now I hail from Asheville, North Carolina, coming to you from the South. Originally, I'm from just outside of Los Angeles, and we're gonna do the damn thing now. Talk about being motivated. I've had a rough day. Hashtag first world problems.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm glad you bringing the funny with you. This is awesome. Love it.
Like a recap of like strokes of humor. I feel like,
Right. Right. It's just like our other show right now, but not really because we're on a different level. We're gonna be this different level. But no, Jeff, I'm so glad you're here. We're honored to have you, sir. So would you like to share your story and tell us about your trauma? Because trauma looks different for all of us.
Well, my trauma is a pretty simple one. Not really. Let's see. Let's give the Reader's Digest condensed version. I'm sure some of you may or may not have seen my other podcast, but my trauma started young. I survived childhood sexual assault. I've survived drug addiction, alcoholism, every kind of prison, racist stereotypes, stroke, heart disease. You name it. I got a couple other problems going on too, but that despite them being problems, they're only problems if I make them a problem.
Absolutely. I love that.
So, I mean, those of you who know me for a little time now, say your Joy, we're still getting to know each other pretty good, but No, we're talking about being worthy today, and being worthy is such a big thing in your mind that you have to feel worthy of everything, worthy of yourself, and you know what I mean, worthy of just getting up in the morning. Where I am today now in my life is 180 from where I was a year ago when I started off on this adventure of pushing we want to bring enlightenment and awareness to survivors and thrivers of everybody, and just letting everybody know that they're not alone and that everybody's worthy, no matter where they are in life, no matter where you're at. Every time you look in the mirror, if you can just say, like, I'm perfect and I'm worthy of that, and you just repeat that over and over, and soon enough you'll start to believe that. I mean, if you're crazy like me.
No, that's facts though. You got to speak it to believe it.
Yeah,
But I just want to say, out of the things you just named that you've survived, you are a warrior. Oh my God, a king amongst kings, sir. You are on this pedestal, not because you're above anybody, but because you refuse to be what happened to you and let it make you fall underneath it. You're standing above everything you've been through, and I am honored to share this stage with you right now, because it's amazing for you to still be able to smile and share your laugh with people and want to put out goodness despite the things you've been through. Hats off to you, my friend.
I really appreciate that, you guys. I mean, I was going to say something else that I always say all the time, and it's important to change your language, to change your narrative. If you change the way that you talk to yourself every morning, or change the way that you talk to other people, eventually that's going to change you. Like the little things, just change the way you talk to yourself. And if you can change the way you change your narrative, like, for instance, I'm just going to bring this up. When dealing with my childhood sexual assault, right? Okay, in that instance, I didn't really feel like it was an assault at the time. But in actuality, it really was. You know what I mean? So you downplay the traumas in order to survive it. But then downplaying those kind of traumas, then you change the way you talk to yourself. Like if you always say, like, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, you're going to feel fat. Mm-hmm. Facts. You know what I mean? If you say I'm svelte, change the way, I'm not fat, I'm svelte. You know what I mean? I'm like beautiful. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, even though I'm big, I'm still gorgeous. Like,
that's me.
You know what I mean? Like, it has nobody cares but you. You all know I've been bigger women though. So.
No, that is absolute facts. First of all, Trina, you're hilarious. Talk about that's me.
I was feeling him over here because I was like, I say that every day in the mirror. I'm so beautiful.
I know when he said that, I was over here thinking that's why I'm juicy. Like, that's the greatest point he can bring to this table right now at this moment. That the things you speak into yourself is who you become. So if you're speaking negative into yourself, that's exactly who you're going to become. Speak life and love into yourself. Talk about the beauty of you, because your beauty comes from your heart, from your mind. It don't come from that superficial thing that dies anyway. All our body get wrinkly and fall. Our booty gonna hit the floor, and your knees gonna buckle, and your chin gonna slide down, and it's just so many things that's gonna happen that we just need to. Yeah.
I want to interject real quick.
Please.
Once I met Jeff, because there's no secret, me and Jeff are like really good friends.
Right.
And once I met Jeff, I took a hit with my confidence with the stroke, right? And I met Jeff, and he was able to kind of bring me out of that. And I started kind of feeling myself again. And that's all to the words that he was saying earlier, like changing the way you talk to yourself will change your narrative. And radical acceptance and things like that, things of that nature that he was able to kind of teach me. Not necessarily that he took me under his wing, but through our conversations, I was able to learn, and through our friendship, I was able to learn that these valuable life lessons moving forward. So I just wanted to be the first to say thank you very much, dude. You have taught me so much in the little bit of time that we've been friends, and like obviously, I want to have the tenacity to get over all the trauma you just listed. Like that's incredible, incredible. I've heard you say this a couple of times, but every single time you bring it up, I'm just like left speechless. And yeah, like Joyce said, hat off to you, bro. Like you always do your thing, always do your thing.
What
I mean,
I'm gonna
I really appreciate that, and I love the shit out of all you guys. But iron sharpens iron, so don't think that that's a one-way street, dude. I mean, I learned from Joy, I learned from Trina, I learned from you, courage, strength, wisdom, all those things that are your monikers and your names. I learned from you guys as well every day. Every day how to accept myself, every day how to laugh, every day how to love. Like you guys show that on a genuine level, you know what I mean? I appreciate you.
Don't make me buttercup over here because I'm over here.
Joke for those of you that don't know.
I'm in my feelings.
That's a really
that's
joke.
what love looks like, though. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta, like, literally, I've only met one person on this platform in real life, and I love all of y'all because the genuineness that comes from all of us is real love. Like, it's not faked, it's not forced, it's not a pretend type deal. It's genuine. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing. I am honored, y'all. This is just, my heart is happy.
I have to when my spirit speak, good, I have to speak.
Girl, you better say what that spirit said.
Then I have to go back to, I dealt with like negativity as a younger age, coming up into high school, being a plus size girl. We weren't proper. You could just be like, oh, I like this dude, or I want to talk to this dude because you'll be ashamed because nobody wants you because you're a little chubby.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't start speaking that into yourself, and somebody else come to you and be like, oh, you beautiful, you take it as negative. You take it as, oh, you trying to make fun of me.
Mm-hmm.
You trying to, down me. And it all starts with you. Because it took me years to get, so that's why when you make little comments and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm beautiful, because I went through that stage, not telling myself. So anytime I can grab it, I'm like, yo, you talking about me? Yeah, I'm beautiful.
Yeah,
you're beautiful. I mean, that's beautiful, but that comes with learning to love yourself. And when you can learn to love yourself and look at the mirror the way you are, like right now, exactly how you are, whether your hands are messed up like mine, or and you see freckles instead of scars. When you start loving yourself the way that this universe loves you, then check this out, then nobody else on this planet can disrespect you, take that, and you don't even care what the hell anybody says. It's not about, dude, you think I'm chubby, you think I'm fat, fuck you all, you know what I mean? It ain't about you. I love myself just how I am, and I don't need your approval to come tell me some bullshit. Like, if that's their approval and you're rating and you're doing that shit, fuck them. You don't need them. Sorry.
No, you okay? You okay? I'm feeling
it. Yo, say what you gotta say, because you're saying it with your heart, and that's obvious. Like, to people watching at home, when you see Jeff talk, you can tell like he's talking from the heart. He's not just saying it to say it. Like courage, like you said before, damn straight. We don't talk that talk, we walk that walk. You know what
that's
I mean?
why it's called straight talk, baby.
Mm-hmm. So
this ain't no rehearsal. We come straight up,
man. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's not an easy run to learn to fucking love yourself. It's not easy, but it's so simple. You know what I mean? It's not easy, but it's real simple. And I know that sounds crazy the way it is. It's just like the 10 commandments in the Bible. Like, they're the simplest, easiest things, but the best, the hardest things to follow. If that's what you're into, you know what I mean? Like, I commit 7 sins on a daily basis.
I can only agree with that partially, because I'm sorry, it ain't simple. It is not simple to learn to love yourself. When somebody has spoken, especially when it comes from people like your parents and people who you love and who close to you, when they've downed you and betrayed your spirit and your heart and made you feel less than, it's hard for you to lift yourself up. So it takes people like us to remind you of who you are. So you reminding people, speak love and life into yourself, because it don't come easy.
It's like the easiest, hardest thing you'll ever do, because it's so easy to just look in the mirror every morning or pray out, just change me. Change me, somebody who loves myself. That's easy. But it's so hard because of everybody that's put you down in the past. See, you don't hear the positives, you only remember the negatives. So like a million people will tell you you're beautiful, and if you don't believe it, you don't believe it. But one person will tell you that you're ugly and fat and buck-toothed and you stink, and that's all you're going to remember. Like this one guy one time told me that I was stank nasty, or this one girl one time told me that my penis was too small, and that's all you're going to remember forever. And it doesn't matter. So like, you to work through that, you have to speak this thing into the universe. You have to, you have to like, well, you don't have to do anything, but I mean, I found that when I started doing it, my life started changing infinitely for the better. Like hashtag first world problems. I told you Junior Joseph A. Bank was going to be calling me about the suit. No joke, dude. They just called me like when I was on the phone right now.
That's why you went black?
Oh, Lord. Okay, rewind. No.
Okay, I'll rewind.
No. When I talked to him earlier, he had mentioned, he was like, watch, I'm going to be doing the show, and I'm going to get a call from Joseph A. Bank. And remember when his screen went black? That's what it was.
Okay, got you. Okay, see, stroke brain. Now I'm caught up too. Thank you.
I'll tell you about my day. The car broke down this morning when I was at the car wash. Well, the battery went dead and everything was going on, so I had to go over to Subaru and take it in. And I was there when I talked to Junior like 10 minutes before the show, getting the loaner car. That's why I'm sitting in the loaner car right now. And so I said, well, not only do I got this show, the car breaks down, I got a suit pending because I'm getting married next week. I said, they're going to call me in the middle to come tailor that suit as soon as this show goes on. Watch, that's how it's going to go. That's how it's going to go. And that's how it went, so far.
Okay.
So I got a busy and hashtag first world problems, though. I mean, it's not bad if I got to go get a suit. At least I'm not getting out of prison. It's not a court suit.
Facts.
But no, that's proof of speaking it into existence. But that's also proof when you got something important to say, how life tries to prevent it. But as long as you keep pressing forward and keeping your mind on your goal, you're going to be okay. Because look, you're still in the show. You're still sharing your story. You're still motivating and encouraging somebody. You're still doing everything that the universe tried to prevent. But your tenacity made it happen. Persistence is key.
Right on.
Yes.
No, but through all that stuff though, Jeff, what does recovery look like for you? Like, what does that mean to recover? Just the question, just keep it right there. What does recovery look like for you?
Recovery to me looks like living. I'm going to tell you, because I was just talking to somebody about this the other day about popping out of survival mode. And I was in survival mode for the last 25 years, just busy day to day, week to week, day to day, week to week. I couldn't think outside of like tomorrow. And I just noticed a big shift in my thinking when I was talking to other people that I know that are still in survival mode. And, I can see it clearly. So recovery for me is actually living life and not just surviving. I mean, we recover from everything every day. So recovery is such a big blanketed issue. I mean, are we ever truly recovered from something? You know what I mean? We carry these scars with us that, say you have a stroke or, like I have other problems, aphasia, you have your hand. We all had strokes and we all carry these for everybody to see like a big red badge of courage. So that's the stuff everybody can see when they look at you. You know what I mean? And
but
when
like other stuff, what does the recovery look like for you? Because I mean, like you said, we all had strokes. So we've talked about stroke stuff for forever, but you've been through other traumas that you're still recovering from. Like it's a daily recovery, choosing not to do the drugs or drink the alcohol or, the things with the molestations and just things you've been through. What does that recovery look like every day?
I'm not gonna lie, that recovery every day gets better every day. Like it gets better every day. The further I would get away from not smoking meth, you know what I mean? The better I feel, the more clear I think and feel. You know what I mean? When Sarah's mom died and I found her and we were in a very narcissistic, relationship and very toxic relationship for 24 years. But, I changed the way I spoke about it. Instead of saying, oh, she died, now my life's going to be over. I was just like, oh, when I thanked her for letting me go because I would not have walked away because I was too twisted and not dealing with that radical acceptance of who I was and where I've been and where I'm going. This recovery from alcohol, this recovery from drugs, it's not linear, and everybody's recovery depends on their own pace. Here's the thing, if you have to recover because somebody's telling you that you need to recover, like, you're stealing from your parents and they want you to go into recovery, or you get a DUI and you have to go to a class, or if you don't recover because you want to recover, because you need to recover, because you absolutely get up in the morning and it's a driving force and deep inside of you that you want it. Like cigarettes, man. I didn't want to quit cigarettes, but once I did, I quit smoking now 2 months.
Good job.
No tobacco, none of that. No cheaters, no sliders. You know what I mean? Like, because each little increment will be a setback. Okay, so the only person you're cheating is yourself. Like I talked to Junior about diet, because I'm not eating sugars. I'm doing low carbs. I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm just trying to clean my system out from, inflammation because of my joint issues and stuff. So So like if I look at it like that, you're like, oh, one little Kit Kat. When you get, what I mean, one little Kit Kat, it ain't gonna hurt nobody. Nobody will know about it. But guess what? Your body doesn't know the difference between the sugars. So if you're trying to reduce that inflammation or trying to change it, then that one little Kit Kat is gonna set you back physically. Nobody may know about it, but you and your body. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't recover for other people. I recovered for myself. Not to wear this badge of courage and be like, I'm a recovering addict. Look. I survived some molestations. I sucked a few dongs, you know what I mean? When I was little, like, I'm not trying to hide behind all that and like think it's like a party or try to make it part of my story. It's just shit we went through, and everybody goes through it. It is part of my story, but everybody goes through some heinous shit. Everybody.
Right. What do you mean you're not trying to make it part of your story, though? It is part of your story. You didn't choose it. It's just, it is what it is. Like you said, it's just something you've been through. So that officially made it part of your story, but it's part of your strength.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't have to be my defining story or my end of my story. That's what I mean. Like, it's part of my story, one chapter in a book full of like amazing things. It's going to turn out awesome.
Right. Absolutely. I understand what that means.
Crazy. So when he brought up the whole topic of his book, and I posted today a little video, and I was like,
wait, you gotta start that over. I just heard you come in. What the hell you say?
I'm not using that headset. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
So I was saying that I posted a video, and I was asking, like, what does your book look like?
Oh, okay.
Like, there's different chapters and different seasons that we go through, but no one understands like the trials and tribulations that everyone has to go through. There's not a single person out there who hasn't been through something, right? Like, everyone goes through something. You may not have had a stroke, but like you dealt with being bullied when you were a kid, or childhood molestation, or drug use, whatever it may be. You deal with something as a human being. So what defines, like Jeff was saying, it's not an overarching part of your story. Like, it's not the title, right? Oh, I'm recovering this and that. But yes, it's true, it's part of your book, but that's a long book, right? That we're reading. And are you gonna just stay stuck in that chapter, or are you gonna fulfill the rest of your book? So like, it was just kind of funny how he brought it up. And today I like made a post about what's in your book, you know.
Well, I think it's important to say that, like, I lost it, dude. I just had a phasing moment. I lost everything right now. I'm just all on it.
It'll come back. Don't even
I
worry
was thinking
about
about your book, and then holding hands, and we're like, "Dang, friends."
You know what? You sound like a hippie moment. Y'all was just around the thing dancing with a fire in the middle. You know what?
I really don't like if somebody. I hate somebody to ask me, "Are you fully recovered now?" Because I have to think about that question because are you asking me, am I fully recovered to your standard? Because I'd be like, what is fully recovered? As long as I can get up and do, I'm not. As long as I'm cooking for myself, getting myself dressed, doing the normal stuff, to me, I'm fully recovered. But just because you see me walking with a cane, you say I'm not fully recovered.
Well, in that aspect, I don't feel like nobody is fully recovered. I feel like anybody who's been through anything will constantly have ups and downs of that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all gonna have moments and days where you're reminded or something triggers whatever it is that you've been through, and then you have to process and deal with whatever it is that you've been through. So I don't think whether it's stroke, molestation, diabetes, no matter deaths, like no matter what it is, that recovery will always be there. Because when that birthday comes, that person that passed away, you're gonna remember, and that's a part of your recovery. So people who've been through like strokes, you know what I'm saying? Like when we have to get up every day and go to the bathroom, we're reminded. So we're constantly in recovery mentally and emotionally of the process. So for somebody to ask you if you're 100%, what the fuck does 100%? What? Let me watch.
That's what I'm wondering. Who gets to decide if a person is fully recovered?
Only that person who's living through that recovery.
Because you can go through so much stuff. Like you need to go to rehab, and if you go through these steps, then they consider you fully recovered. And it could be times when people go through those steps and still not fully recovered.
Yeah,
I'm saying that's the beauty of my 77% that I have tattooed on my arm for that. You know what I mean? That's the
Tell the story behind it, Jeff.
Huh?
Tell the story behind that tattoo and show the people again.
Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah, we can see it. 77%.
77% to me has been the fact that everybody talks about 100 and they send up that 100 emoji, 100 emoji, 100 emoji. But I don't like that 100 philosophy. I think 77% is the best you're ever going to get from somebody. Like just ask somebody at the grocery store how they're doing today. Like the teller, you know what I mean? She's not going to come at you and be like, you know what? I really have an itchy asshole, or like,
you know what?
But I mean, this is like, like, but right there, you're at like 89%. So 77% always gives you another 23% to always strive to be better, and it gives you a buffer. So so if you're at 77%, then you always have room for improvement, like.
I love that. Because there's always room for growth and improvement. And Makaya, wait, I'll be messing up your name, y'all.
It's Makaya.
Makaya. Thank you, honey. Let's look at you can read good. No. You have to come first before recovery, whether it's physically or mentally, because if you haven't healed spiritually, you still have a battle to deal with. That is absolute facts.
Yeah, it comes
Makaya.
I should know how to say her name too. That's my stroke because I sure know that person. I love you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Makaya. For everybody else that's on here, Makaya is my niece. And she keeps my head up because she didn't tell me from day one, Nanny, you need to heal spiritually before you go mentally and physically.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
she been with me since day one, and she would come in and be like, "You need to hold your head up because you letting your crown fall."
Uh,
And it's
I
like
know that's
every day
one of my
she gets
kids. Tell her
on.
then. Put her in her place. Check her, honey. Yes. No, but speaking of this, Jeff, since you're our guest, let me ask you first, sir. Since everything has its ups and downs, that means depression does show up. That's what we were just talking about. How does it show up for you though? Because it shows up different for everybody. So how does yours show up?
My my depression, my problems show up in the form of like fuck it. I get, you know what I mean? Where I'm gonna say fuck it. Like hey, I'm just like fuck it. I'm gonna grab that bottle and I'm just gonna fucking tip that thing until the bottom, till the end. And I try not to let my depression and things like that overrun me because I've done a lot of introspection. I do a lot of spiritual work, not with in the universe I call it the divine. I put it out there, not belonging to any sect. It's a whole different, we could do 2 hours on that at a different time. But like, we don't have to get into it right now. But the spiritual side is big, but also changing the way you think, the way I think. So when I see depression coming on, um, you know what? I use see. Okay, let me back up. Drugs and alcohol are usually the symptom of a bigger problem. They're not the problem themselves.
I'm sorry, y'all. My son.
Now you're
They're not
good.
the problems themselves, but usually it's because you're trying to kill the pain of another problem. Like, so you're like, oh, this hurts, but I don't know why. So once you identify all that, learning to unfuck your brain a little bit and learning to recognize when the depression. Now, this is for me personally. Some people are clinically depressed and they have to be medicated because, they have a real chemical imbalance. And I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like they have to be. As for me, when I feel that coming on, well, as you know, I call my friends. I use a support system. I pray. I do a lot of things. And some days you just can't avoid it. Some days you're just in a funk and you just feel bad. So you just have to ride it like a wave. Just have to like take it as it comes, like one step at a time. I mean, after all, like nothing outside of you. People, places, and things, they don't hold any control over you. It's all your reaction to the way that these things happen to you. Like if one thing starts your day off wrong and then you start thinking negatively in the morning and you don't find something positive to find out, then you start thinking negative every day. Like,
Yeah.
like you get up, you burn your tongue on the coffee and you're like, oh, this day's going to suck.
Yeah.
Just like this morning, I was just like, oh, this is sucky great. I mean, I have these problems that like some people would cripple them. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, the car broke down. Okay, whatever. At least we have the ability and to handle it right now. Like a year ago, I wouldn't have been able to. I would have been like stressing through the roof, like jumping because there's no way that I should even have been driving a car. Like I'm just grateful that I can drive a car.
Yeah. Well, I like. What's one tip that you would like for our guest? What's one tip that you can give to kind of like deal with your depression? How do you deal with your depression? Like,
That's a good question. It's kind of a multifaceted thing how I deal. I haven't. I don't want to sound, but I mean I haven't really been. I don't really get too depressed the same way other people do. I mean I don't qualify for all the shit that I've been through. I tried to get counseling. You know what I mean? I didn't qualify. I didn't meet the markers for post-traumatic stress. I didn't meet the markers for clinical depression. So my depression is purely situational, and I haven't been depressed in a long time because my situation is awesome.
so let me ask you this: when you having a tough time, right, or your day starts off bad the way you were mentioning earlier, what are some tips to like get over the depression or not make the rest of your day horrible? Like how do you change your narrative throughout the day?
A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, Donald Bland. He's from Atlanta. He was an older man. He was homeless, in Los Angeles when I lived there, and we would hang out and talk. And keep looking up. Keep looking up. Like for me, I have to jump into almost a meditation per se. Like meditate a little bit. Remember to breathe. I remember to breathe because that's the only thing at the end of the day that you can control in this life is your breath. And since your last breath is death, it turns out the E on the end of that shit is everything. So when life gets overwhelming, for me personally, I breathe. I try to remember just to breathe. Take a minute to just breathe in, breathe out. At the same time, I do say change me prayers all the time to the universe or God or Jesus. We all pray to the same being, if that's how you put it. I'm not going to get into a religious problem with it, but prayer and getting out of yourself and being out of yourself, it's because it's not about you. It's about love. It's all about love.
Got you.
Absolutely. I love that. So through everything you've been through, though, have any of your situations stopped you from achieving any other dreams or goals you wanted to accomplish?
All of them.
Even now or back then and now?
Back then, looking back, all of them kept me from doing anything, from just, talking to people. Like once you realize that when you tell your story, there's so much healing in that. When you can, connect with another human being, or just even getting your story out there to make it, because once you speak it into the universe, it makes it true, and making it true, you know what I mean, will bring healing. So people that don't, everybody's story is their own superpower. I know Hot Wheels used to say this, you know what I mean, like a lot, and it's true though. Everybody's story is their own superpower, and there's so much healing involved, whether you want to admit it or not. That's why you go to AA or NA, and and then you get up and tell your story. I particularly personally don't follow the AA NA method because this universe has a one-step program. Either you fucking do it or you don't.
Yeah.
Like, there is no in the middle, like harm reduction methods. Like, oh, it's okay. I'll just smoke a little bit of weed right now, or I'll just drink a little bit of alcohol, and then I'll back up off it. You know what I mean? I'll just slow down. Or stop. You know what I mean? It's the difference of, like, if I took a bat and started beating you with it, would you want me to slow down or would you want me to stop?
Right.
So I don't. But see, the storytelling is still the same when you get up there, like in NA or AA or MA or any GA, any of those.
Right.
Just being able to tell your story and speak it, because when you speak these words, you're not only saying them to other people, but you're saying them to yourself.
It's power in words. That we've been hearing that all our life. It's power in words. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But see, I don't want to talk about. Well, I do want to talk about it, but I don't want to focus on how it stopped you in your past. Now that you've been through what you've been through, who you are now. Where do you see yourself in your future now?
I see myself better than I was yesterday. I mean, I can dream today. Like, I can dream that we're going to be writing a book. It's going to happen. We're going to be telling our stories. We're going to bring smiles to faces. We are doing it. It's happening. You know what I mean? Strokes of humor, comedic healing that, started as an idea between Junior and I, wanting to just have a Zoom meeting that was like comically based for people to just go and talk shit, or just, bring the darker side of healing to light. Now look, now we're going on 300 members of a private group that we started just because we wanted. We have this show that we're all part of, which is great, and fun, and as we like cultivate that, that's gonna. And I just want to help people. I want to help others that you know, having fun.
I
I
call
didn't catch
this a
the
piece
end
of
of that.
bread.
I didn't catch the end of that, but like, Joy, try lowering the jazz a little bit.
That shit makes me want to drink.
That's because you're just always ready for life.
Uh-huh.
Alexa,
No, that
turn it down.
bluesy jazz every time makes me want to just sit in a smoky club with a
Let that
Scotch
be
and a
reason.
cigar.
Well, you know what time that is. We got the alarm popping off. It's Q&A time. It's time for
Ooh.
our audience to be able to ask questions to our guests and to the host live and get your answers right now. So if you got some questions, some feedback, or anything you want to spit on the show, get these numbers a dial. Area code 49228-1713 or 719-669-4320. You get to ask any of us questions live, honey. Get your answers right now. I'm going to leave that right there for us who can't remember numbers.
I was like, I hope you do leave that, because, boy.
Oh, see, Karen said that's all she hear. I'm going to do better next time. It was too loud. That's what I did in mid-show. But matter of fact, Alexa. Hey, girl. Alexa. Stop.
Hey, girl. I don't think she responds to that. Hey, girl.
No, she don't.
But yeah.
I was going to ask, Courage, do you have anything to ask Jeff? You've been kind of quiet, no?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to when he was talking about if it's someone that caused trauma in your life, and you was saying how you change the way you get speaking to them will change you. And I'm trying to figure out like
I'm
what's the first step to forgive, or do you just want to have that moment and just go off on them and then change the way?
well. It, it's gonna sound kind of fucked up, but one thing, you can't think stupid. Like, you can't argue with somebody that wants to argue. But two, I've had to cut so many people out of my life that were toxic for me. I mean, literally, you just cut them off and you don't speak to them. I don't care what they, I mean, if that's what it is, somebody in your life causing you problems and you don't need that problems, whether it's your mom, your sister, your dad, your cousin. Like, when you're working on you, you're working on you. And I literally had to sever a lot of ties with a lot of different people. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. It fucking hurts.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts. It hurts really bad. But what you get from it is 10 times more fulfilling than what you take from it. You know what I mean? Because there's things called boundaries, and then, you know what I mean? And when you're weak and not um, thinking right, or, you know, you're not loving yourself right, or coming out of that, you know, we have a problem setting boundaries and telling people no. I mean, you guys know for a fact that I had a problem with boundaries on the last producer, but I'm getting better with them. You see, it's not something that happens overnight. I mean, it's something that happens over time. And, you know, we weren't destroyed overnight and torn down overnight, so we're definitely not going to be rebuilt overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. But as for your question there, you know, you have to pick and choose what they say. If what they say is hurting you, like, you know, making you get mad, it's your reaction to them, because who cares what anybody else thinks? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It only brings up something when you let it bother you. Like, if somebody, maybe this is just me specifically, but somebody could call me, like in jail, somebody calls you a punk ass lame, and you're going to pop off and you got to go fight. I don't give a shit if a punk ass lame's calling me a punk ass lame. Like, you're a fucking stupid bitch. You know what I mean? What? Like, you see what I'm saying? So, like, it's the way that you perceive that your reaction to it is going to make it happen. But when you talk to other people differently, like you're saying, you know, there's there's several different techniques that you can use when you're talking to other people. You know what I mean? It just takes learning to use those. They have these ORS method. There's a bunch of methods we can get together later. You know, like there's just so many different counseling and interpersonal methods that you can use to look at, you know, to make these conversations go better. And like Junior can attest. I mean, I'm not like a saint at all. Like if you're don't be my server at a restaurant. It's like if you don't
For real.
like, and it's not that I'm a dick. It's not that I'm an asshole. It's just that like, you know,
you're a dick and an asshole.
Okay,
it's fine.
It sure got quiet a little bit.
Like, let's be clear. You have your moments, but you know, you gotta you set the tone. Basically, you set the tone to what you're gonna let pass and what you're not gonna let pass, because it's based on how it makes you feel. So things that don't make you feel good, you don't tolerate it. That's just the basis of that, right?
Somebody comes
but
up.
Don't handle it like Jeff, because he might make you go find a nearest bridge and jump sometimes. Y'all got to remember, he's still human. He have his moments just like every other human in the world. So let's be. I'm gonna be fair.
Well, that to be fair, that is very fair, because I know how to push some buttons when I want to. Yeah.
But no, seriously.
Me too.
I'm talking about me too.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna be me too.
I think we all know how to push buttons, and it's just important for us to, number one, speak that, say that, and be clear. Let's not point the finger at everybody else and say everything is everybody else's fault. Own your own stuff. If you know you are easy to push somebody buttons, or you know that some easily triggers you and your response is not going to be right or it wasn't right, be quick to apologize, just like you're quick to jump from 0 to 1,000. So it's just a matter of being honest with yourself. We all
well,
do.
I actually kind of switched the situation. You know, I get that calm voice, like it really not bothering me, and they like tick still, you know. So I'd rather their blood pressure run up than mine.
Well, the same thing if somebody's sitting in the passenger seat chewing on some kettle chips or something. Like, you know what I mean? Crunch, 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 chewing on ice, chewing on rocks, doing whatever it is they're doing. Like that on a cellular level, that gets to me, and I don't care who it is. You know what I mean? Hear them breathing through their nose like that.
You know what? See,
if I'm getting mad and nobody's even here chewing chips, I'm getting mad right now. So that's like.
Well, I'm not gonna eat no chips around you.
Once you learn to look at your cognitive distortions, you know what I mean? The way you were raised, and that's a very valuable thing. The cognitive distortions and like what you're distorted in your way of thinking of what's actually true and what isn't true. You know what I mean? So when you can identify those and start working and dealing with those, you know, and it all comes with introspection, working with your triggers. Keep a journal of your triggers, like when you feel I mean, if you want to really find out, really what I had to do was every time you start feeling mad or a certain way, you have to write it down. What am I looking at, seeing, hearing, smelling, everything around you, just write it down and log it. And then you go back and you look for, you know what I mean? You look for the things that are like connecting, you know, like there's triggers everywhere, and we're all going to get triggered that way when it comes down to it. So how do you get through those triggers, or how do you identify those triggers? Well, you have to look for them. So like, I know one of my triggers is like somebody chewing loud as shit. I know that's a trigger for me on a level, and it is for a lot of people. But like, how do I deal with it now? Just like you're saying, like I just literally got mad on the inside, pissed off, and nobody was even here chewing because I was just thinking about it. So that's something I'm gonna have to work on now. Like, thanks for helping me identify something new.
That's real. No, but for real, if somebody was watching you right now, right, and they've been through more than what you've been, it don't even matter what they've been through. They just going through the flux right at this moment. What would you tell them to keep them from never give up? What would you tell them to keep them from never giving in to giving up on themselves?
You know what? life is very short, and all we have is today. Like, don't worry about yesterday, and don't worry about tomorrow, and just focus on today and look for any beauty around you. Like, it doesn't matter where you're at in life. You could find one thing beautiful, because this life is awesome. This life is beautiful, and I know if you can, when you can accept that and embrace that, then you find yourself in a winning situation. Like, want to do better, to be better, and it doesn't matter if you can walk or you can't walk. I mean, I can barely walk. Junior can attest to that. Like, we look like two. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what we look like, but we're still out there doing it. Life is beautiful, and don't waste time on wasted time. Does that make sense? Like,
yes, makes a lot of sense.
Like, right now, we're making memories. Like, 2 seconds ago is already gone, and it's never coming back. It's immortalized now on Facebook, but it's gone. Don't let the small stuff sweat you. Just, and it is a hard thing to do, and it's easy for me to sit here and say that, but I mean, I have walked through it, and I've felt that way. Like, I wanted to give up a year ago. Like, I didn't want to live, but I didn't want to die. I mean, I wanted to die, but I didn't want to live. Like, I didn't want to kill myself, and that's more on my story and my trauma and my past, where I come from. But just don't give up. Just keep looking up. I mean, this life has so much to offer.
Going through some of the things you went through as a kid, how did you get, if it was a younger person, like it was as a child, like somebody who's, who's afraid to tell mommy or daddy, or who don't have that support system and don't have nothing, what could you possibly tell them to help them make it to the next day?
It's okay to process feelings. It's okay to be scared, and it's okay to not be okay with not being okay. Don't be scared to stand up and talk your truth if something's happening. Like, you only get one life, you only get one face. You know what I mean? Don't let anybody keep you down. But it's okay to feel things. It's all we were taught not to feel. Okay, and not being able to process those feelings caused me a whole lot of problems in my life, because boys don't cry. You know what I mean? And boys, but there's a lot of shame. Like, if somebody's being sexually assaulted, there's a lot of shame and guilt that comes along with that. And it took me 45 years in order to kind of just even acknowledge that happened. And escape that. So if you're younger and you're going through that, like, it's okay to feel, and don't be ashamed of who you are, and don't let anybody tell you different, because the only person who slows you down or stopping you is you. Like, if you want something bad enough, you'll find it. You know what I mean? And that's just proven, like, as a drug addict, because you could drop me off in any city in the USA, and I could probably score drugs within like 25 minutes. But like, I don't want to go to the DMV and get my license, because it might be a little bit too hard. So if I just, honestly, when I started putting that effort into regular things in life, the same way that you attack to try to find drugs or get a drink, you know what I mean? If you use that same veracity and that same tenaciousness and that same drive,
right,
you can't help but win, because eventually you're gonna, if you look long and hard enough, you're gonna find what you're looking for.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that answer. That was an amazing answer, Jeff. I love that. Wisdom, do you have any questions for our guests before we close out?
To be honest, I don't. But I'm kind of greedy, right? Like, I know we're running on time, and if I have any questions, I just call Jeff. Me and him just talk. So
okay,
nah.
And Miss Courage, do you have anything you want to leave Jeff with, or the people?
I just want to tell everybody that no matter what you go through, First, just love yourself. I mean, you don't try to go through life pleasing everybody because that's gonna drain you. And
Absolutely.
just love yourself. I don't want me personally. I no longer adjust myself to please somebody.
Say that.
I just live life.
Absolutely. I love that.
But Mr. Jeff, we enjoyed you today. You lift up my spirit. Yeah,
He
I'm
came
ready to go
through with
get
the
in the
come
mirror and
through.
say, woo. Yes, I'm ready to go get in the mirror and be like, you know what, you just so fine. You just so beautiful. You're
No, but like I would look at the mirror and say that stuff, say those affirmations, and then I'd say, "Oh, you're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar." But one day that changed. One day that changed, and I remember that day I was in Redondo Beach when it changed. You know what I mean? One day I was just like, "Hey, damn, you are kind of beautiful."
So
You're a
damn,
sexy
I
bitch,
kind of
Jeff.
beautiful.
Relax.
Yeah.
So I'm
I mean, I
gonna
get
say,
all sex nuts on myself, but I mean, like.
you know what? Listen, y'all, I love y'all. Jeff, thank you so much for coming and being a part of strengthening you with the come through. I love the amazing experience that you gave people and the fact that you can show them you can get through anything that you ever go through. You are not what happened to you. You are a beautiful reminder of that. So I thank you. Thank you, courage and wisdom as always. Y'all are amazing. I love y'all forever. Until later, don't y'all go nowhere.
God.
Coming through with the strength in you. Good morning. Coming
Thank
through
you.
with
Thank
the
you.
strength in you. You made it through. Keep